top 10 picks on the board for you. So, at number 1, and again, this is not who I personally would take, but who I think these NFL teams will ultimately select with their pick. So at number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is obvious. They're going to take Trevor Lawrence. He's a once-in-a-generation type of talent. This is why Urban Meyer came out of retirement to select him. And this is a type of guy who can totally change the face of their franchise in one pick. He's that talented. Same kind of ilk as John Elway and Andrew Luck. He's going to be selected number 1. At number 2, the New York Jets are going to select Zach Wilson out of BYU. Again, quarterback out of BYU. Is that who I personally would have taken at number 2? No. But that's where all signs are indicating, is that they're going to take this guy. Again, I'm really high on Justin Fields, but they did just trade away Sam Darnold, and they've been zeroing in on Zach Wilson for quite some time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do think that they should have perhaps opted in a different direction. They didn't. They chose to select him. That's their pick at number 2, and that's who I think they're going to select. At number 3, this is the big one. This is the big one, and I personally think at the end of the day, the San Francisco 49ers are going to take Mac Jones. I think eventually he will edge out Trey Lance. I think that Kyle Shanahan will get his preference, will get his way. And as much as I know the scouting department's pushing and John Lynch is pushing for Trey Lance, and personally, if I was in their position picking between those two guys, I would take Trey Lance as well. But the reality is the coach has final say in this instance, and he likes Mac Jones. He fits his system. He's not going to improvise. He's not going to extemporize, and he's simply going to do his job, and he can win right now. And the roster that they have, they need a quarterback that can come in and simply get the job done right this second. And Mac Jones, I think, is going to be able to do that. Trey Lance is a little bit more raw. At number 4, this is what I think. I think as of this moment right now, the Atlanta Falcons are going to take Justin Fields at quarterback. I think that they've been fielding offers, and it's possible they could still trade out of this, in which case they wouldn't select him. I just think at this moment, because they're already willing to shop Julio Jones, I think what they're and starting to gut their team, I think that the writing's on the wall that I didn't think this way earlier. About a month ago, I didn't think this way, but I just think that they're leaning towards a quarterback right now. And if they're going to go in an entire rebuilding direction, Justin Fields is a Georgia native. He could easily come in and replace Matt Ryan in a year or so. Matt Ryan has an opt-out in his contract after next season. So I could see them taking Justin Fields, the quarterback out of Ohio State, because he's just such a fantastic prospect. And if for some reason a team isn't able to trade up into that spot, and he's just there on the board for them, I've thought about it a lot. I think I could see them going in that direction. At number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. This is an obvious pick for me. Penei Sewell, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. He won the Outland Trophy in 2019. Didn't give up a sack in 2019. Only allowed, they said, 7 pressures and over 900 snaps. So this guy's an absolute beast. Joe Burrow needs help at the offensive line. They had the 30th rated offensive line in the NFL, the worst offensive line in the NFL last year. And he would immediately come in and provide a huge spark, would just plug up the middle, be able to protect Joe Burrow, give him time. So this seems like a great pickup, a great selection at number 5. At number 6, the Miami Dolphins. I know all these rumors about Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase. I don't buy any of it. It's all smokescreen. They are going to draft Kyle Pitts if he's available at number 6. This is the true way to evaluate Tua. They have to see, is Tua the guy or not? And they've got a couple weapons. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller they just traded for. I understand they could work on their offensive line, but their defense is still stout. The only question mark is Tua the guy? And we know how talented of a prospect Kyle Pitts is. And if Tua still can't succeed with Kyle Pitts, well, then they got to clearly move in a different direction, and this is going to help expedite that process for them. At number 7, the Detroit Lions. I don't know why they were trying to trade with the Atlanta Falcons up to number 4 to select Jamar Chase, because to me, I had him naturally being selected number 7 overall, taken by the Detroit Lions. They traded for Jared Goff. They moved off Kenny Golladay. He signed with the Giants. And the Detroit Lions are terrible in a bunch of areas, but at least you need to support Jared Goff. You have to give him at least one receiver, one weapon to see what you have in him, to give him someone to throw to. And so I like TJ Hawkinson, who's a nice tight end. And now you got Jamar Chase on the outside. This seems perfect. Again, 22 touchdowns, like 1,700 yards in that 2019 season with Joe Burrow when they won the national championship, going 15-0. This makes just perfect sense to me. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, I take Jamar Chase at number 7, and that's an easy pick. Here is where it gets interesting. At number 8, I think ultimately the New England Patriots will be making this selection. I think they will be trading up with the Carolina Panthers. I do see this happening. And so because of that, because Justin Fields has already been taken off the board, I still think that they would ultimately go with now Trey Lance, the quarterback out of North Dakota State. Sure, Fields might have been their number 1 pick, their preferred pick in this instance, but the reality is Trey Lance fits their scheme really well. This is a guy who is raw, could sit under and sit behind Cam Newton for one season. Again, Cam Newton's only there for 1 year. And when you look at the type of characters of players, the characters of guys that Bill Belichick typically signs, Trey Lance fits this mold. He is an impressionable young kid. He's talented. He's a hard worker. He's great on the board. He asks questions. He's eager to learn from his coaches. And Bill Belichick, I think, would be able to do a number with him. Again, an elite prospect, a really talented and versatile guy who would come in and just fit their system really well. And I think that even if Fields doesn't drop to number 8, Bill Belichick would happily take him at number 8, Trey Lance, if he's still on the board. So then at number 9, I don't really know what the Denver Broncos are doing. Maybe they'll trade up, maybe not. I haven't heard any rumors about them trading up. So if they don't and they stay pat at number 9, I think they're going to draft Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Right now, when you look at the Denver Broncos, Garrett Bowles is finally blossoming. They drafted him, an offensive tackle, in 2017, but they lost a couple guys on the offensive line. They lost their backups. They need someone to take over at right tackle or left tackle. You can switch them up. And Rashawn Slater is a huge guy. I mean, he's like 6'4", 315 pounds, excellent tackle. And he would be a nice building block for the Denver Broncos moving forward. And at number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, we've been talking about this for, it feels like, weeks. Defense. They need a defensive playmaker. Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama, is there. He can break up passes. He's big. He's physical. He'll dislodge passes. And his father, Patrick Surtain Sr., was a former cornerback in the NFL for 11 seasons. And so you know that his technique's going to be impeccable. His ability to lead wide receivers to a specific direction will be really good. He's got a great field awareness. So that's what I think Dallas Cowboys should go. I think that's the direction that they will go in. And that is my mock 10, my top 10 picks in this mock draft. So